Surah Al Alaq. It has 19 verses. It is the 96th verse of the Holy Quran. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Iqra. Not Iqra, but Iqra, a tying of the alif hamza. Bismi. 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 The first letter there is ba. The second letter there is alif mad, which you can identify by it not having any diacritic. Rabbikal. 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 Ra fatha, ra, and ra is a thick letter, and that is why I say ra and not rabbika. Alladhi. Ladhi. You see this alif there, assuming we are starting from there, we will say alladhi something something and then alladhi khalaqa and so on. But because it's a continuation, you will just say ladhi. Ladhi. Khalaqa. Khalaqa. Kha fatha kha. Lam fatha la. Qaf fatha qa. We are supposed to say khalaqa, but it's not qa. We are substituting the fatha with a sukun on the qaf. Iqra bismi rabbikal ladhi khalaqa. You remember we say we are substituting the fatha on the qaf with a sukun because we are ending there. Khalaqal. 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 Insana. Insana. Alif hamza kisra e. Nun without any diacritic on it, which is the second letter here, is a nun sakina. And the rule for the nun sakina is gunna, and that is why you wait there before moving forward, and that is why it's a insana and not just insana. Min. Min. This mim, this is how it is written in the Arabic letter, but because it comes at the beginning of a word, that is why we shorten it like this and just put it together with the nun or any other letter that is in front of it. But if you see this meme and this other one, as in the letters, you know it's the same. So it's just the way it is written. It is written differently when it comes on its own alone. That is how you will see it as it is in the alphabet. When it comes at the beginning of a word, it is written this way. When it comes at the middle, it will be written another way. If we see it, we'll talk about it. And if it comes at the end of a word, you will see it also. But for now, let's just concentrate on it coming at the beginning of a word. Min. Mim kisra mi. Nun skun. There is no sound for this except you join it with something else, and that is why we join it with mim here. Min. Alaqa. Alaqa. You'll be wondering, why didn't I say alaqin as it is written? Well, we ain't saying alaqin as it is written because we are stopping there. Since we are stopping there, we are to substitute this kisratain with a sukun. Wherever in the Quran you see kisratain attached to a letter and you are to stop there, just substitute it with a sukun, and that is why we say alaqa and not just alaqin. Khalaqal. إنسان من علق. Alright, the noon, if you know of huruf al-qalqala, you know that is why we say alaqa and not alaq. We didn't just tie it up immediately, just as it is supposed to be done, because of the rule of iqra, iqra, iqra. وربك وربك one fata wa ra. Whenever you see a ra and they put a fatha on it, it is sounded or pronounced as ra. Then ba, which is the third letter there, domabu, is supposed to be bu, but if you see anything anywhere you see this shadda on something, it means it is double. So we have double ba there, and that is why you say robu and not just robuka. Akram, akram, akram. Alif hamza fatha a. Then kaf skun. Kaf skun cannot be pronounced on its own. So if we join it with the first letter, which is alif hamza fatha, then it will be ak. The third letter there is ra. Whenever you see a fatha on a ra, you say ra, akra. Then not mu, because we are stopping there, we are substituting it with a skun. Iqra wa rabbukal akram. Not akramu, because we are stopping there. Assuming we are proceeding, we would say akramu, but here iqra wa rabbukal akram. Alladhi, 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 allama, allama. Alright, something repeated itself here. This is the shadda. Whenever you see a shadda on something, it means not just on, it can be under it. It means it is double. That means allama, it is two lambs, they are there. Bil qalam, bil qalam, bil qalam. Here also, whenever you see a kisra attached to a letter and you are stopping by that letter, you have to substitute that kisra with a skun, and that is why we say bil qalam and not bil qalami. It is written as bil qalami. The first letter here is ba, ba kisra b. The second one is alif mad. That is why it doesn't have any diacritic attached to it. الذي علم بالقلم, الذي علم بالقلم. علم, علم. The first letter there is ain. علم. إنسان, إنسان, إنسان. Malam, malam. Because of the mud in front of the meme, you will say ma and not just malam. Malam. Ya'lam, ya'lam. The first letter there is ya. Ya fata is ya. Then ayn. The second letter here is ayn. This is how it is written whenever it comes at the middle of a word. This is how it is written, so do not be confused. It is the same ayn there. Ya'lam, ya'lam. And here at the ending of the verse, it came on its own. It's a skun on the meme, so we don't have to interchange anything. Ya'lam. علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم, علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم, علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. كلا كلا كلا. This is not قاف but calf. So you say kalla just the way you say a car. You pronounce a car. And then after this calf, there is a lam. And then after it, there is an alif mud. This is just how it is written. Lam alif. Innal. Innal. The rule of noon mushaddada. The noon that has a shadda is gunna. And gunna means you just wait a bit before moving forward. And that is why I say innal. Insana. Insana. Not insana, but sana because of the mud. Layatogo. Layatogo. Alright. The first letter here is lam. The second letter is ya. The third letter there is to. This to, the one that looks like B, is to. Alright, whenever you see a spoon attached to this particular letter or you would pronounce it as a huruf al-qalqala, and that is why you give it the rule of the huruf al-qalqala, because it is a huruf al-qalqala at the moment. And that is why you say la yatgha and not la yatgha. Because there is a spoon there, assuming it's another letter that is not a huruf al-qalqala that is there, you just tie it up immediately and go like la yatgha. But because it is a huruf al-qalqala, you make the qalqala la yatgha. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى. كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى. الر الر الر. Ahus. Ahus. This is the big ha. Hus and not hus. Ahus. Tagna. Tagna. After ta, which is the first letter in this cycle, the second letter there is going. This is how it is written in the Arabic alphabet, and when it comes in the middle of a word, this is how it is written. Tagna. Tagna. However, in this place, we are used to substituting fatha with a spoon whenever we are stopping there. But because of this little mud, now we are to stop it as na and not substitute with a spoon. Ar-ra'ahu istagna. Ar-ra'ahu istagna. Inna. Inna and not inna, because there is no mud anywhere here. So it is inna. Fakat, just inna. Remember the rule of nun mushaddada. Inna. Ila. 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 That thing that looks like ya and an alif in front of it is mud. Robbikar. Robbikar. Not just Robbika, then Ruja'a. No. You would pronounce the kaf as if you are entering into the ra. Because this is ikhfa, and ikhfa is to enter into, and that is why Robbikar. The person listening to you should know ra is the next thing. Ruja'a. 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 not ruj'a as it is written, because the jim has a sukun. If you don't know, this is jim. The second letter here is jim. The first letter is ra, right? The second letter here is jim. When it comes in the beginning of a word, this is how it is written. And because it is a huruf al-qalqala, we make the qalqala ruj'a and not ruj'a. Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. أرأيت 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 then الذي this ya here is purpose is just for elongation, and that is it is a mud. That is why it doesn't have any diacritic. ينهى ينهى ينهى. You see, even in this place, this ya with this small fatha on it is mud. Whenever you see it at the end where you want to stop, you are to pronounce it as it is, ha, and not substitute it with a sukun. أرأيت الذي ينهى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا عبدا. Alright, not abdan as it is written now. If you want to pronounce it, you just say abdan. But because ba is a huruf al-qalqala, we are making the qalqala on it. That is why we say abdan and not just abdan. Either, not iza, but the. Either. Solla, solla, sod fatah, solla. عبدا إذا صلى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت أرأيت not أرى but أرى because ra is a thick letter. أرأيت إن كان إن كان إن كان علل علل. The first letter there is ayn, so you pronounce it as ayn, علل, and not alal. هدى 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 أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو 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 أمر 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 بالتقوى بالتقوى, not بالتقوى but بالتقوى because قاف is a حروف القلقلة. بالتقوى أو أمر بالتقوى أو أمر بالتقوى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب أرأيت إن كذب. Alright, I made it very big this time around because I know you're already familiar with this أرأيت إن ka even أرأيت إن كذب وتولى 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 أرأيت إن كذب وتولى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم 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 يعلم 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 بأن الله بأن الله. The word Allah, when fatha comes before the word Allah, you make it thick, and that is why بأن الله and not بأن الله. يرى 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 ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا 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 لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا. All right, pay a very good attention to this part. This ayin, after it is just a mud, right? After the mud there is a ba. You are to pronounce as if you are pronouncing the ba. The person listening should know that there is a ba after it. Bin nasiyah, bin nasiyah, bin nasiyah. All right, you see there is a kisra where we are stopping now, but we are not pronouncing the kisra. Instead, we are substituting with a sukun because there is no mud in front of it. كلا لئن لم ينتهي لنسفعا بالناصية لنسفعا بالناصية إقلاب لنسفعا بالناصية. This is إقلاب, and that is why you can hear me the ba whilst pronouncing the I. ناصية ناصية. Alright, this is إخفاء. Whenever you see tanween, that is fatatain, kisratain, or dommatain, which in this case is kisratain, in front of a kaf or comes before a kaf, you know it is ikhfa, and the rule of ikhfa applies. It is you are to enter into the next thing. So that is why you say think, and not that the ta is standing on its own. No, you have to join them. Think. Kadhiba, kadhibatin. Assuming we are stopping here, we will say kadhiba, but because we are proceeding, kadhibatin, kadhibatin. However, now after this ta which has a tanween, the next letter here out of this cycle is ha, which is a letter of izhar, and that is why the ruling is different from this place and that of the afar we just concluded. Here the ta is standing on its own. You do not join them because it is very obvious. So that is why you say kadhibatin. Then khati'ah will be different. Kadhibatin. Khati'ah. 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 Kha fatah kha. Then alif mad, the use of this we all know is elongation, and it is elongated for 2 harakats. 2 harakats meaning like 2 seconds, and that is why you say Though it's for elongation, it's just ho 2 seconds more. Then you proceed and not hotly. No. Ho the ناصية كاذبة خاطئة ناصية كاذبة خاطئة. I hope you note the difference. فليد فليد, another huruf al-qalqala, dal. That is why we didn't say yed, but yed. We made the qalqala on it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is ayn. When it comes on its own, it appears just the way it is. Ooh. Ayn fata a. Ayn kisra I. Ayn dhamma ooh. Just as in this place, ooh. Ayn dhamma ooh. Nadia, 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 Nadia. Nun fatana, alif mad. And that is why you say na and not just Nadia. Assuming this fatah, this small fatah is not there, that doesn't have any diacritic attached to it, you just say Nadia or something like that. But because it is there, you elongate it for 2 more seconds. Na, then dia. فليدعو ناديه فليدعو ناديه فليدعو ناديه سندعز 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 سندعز. Make sure you are pronouncing the ain differently from alif. Zabaniya, Zabaniya, Zabaniya. سندع الزبانية سندع الزبانية سندع الزبانية. كلا لا كلا لا كلا لا. You only say la because of these muds that are attached to the la, to the lam. But assuming there is no mud at all, it is just kallala, kallala, kallala. But because there is this mud attached to them and they are to be elongated for 2 harakas, which is 2 equivalent to like 2 seconds, that is why you say kalla, then la, kalla, la, not kallala. تطعه 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 تطعه. واسجد واسجد. واقترب واقترب واقترب. كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب. كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب. كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب.